Yo, what's good with you guys? This is Gypsy. I'm in the middle of doing some customizing to some of my dolls that I want to put on display, and it occurred to me that this doll, who I want to do something different with her hair, I cannot find a tutorial anyplace on how to do the style that I'm trying to do. So I'm going to document myself doing this. It's really an experiment, but also, even though I've never done this, I'm kind of using techniques that I learned from other hairstyles that I've tried to apply to this doll's hair. So basically, her hair is super curly and it was styled in an updo where she had a big afro puff just coming out of her ponytail. And when I took the hair down, as you guys will see in my initial box opening of this doll, her hair was not quite an afro type texture. It wasn't really kinky. The curls are actually very tight spirals, very much like the hair that's on this doll, who I know she's beheaded, you guys, I know. But this is my Miss Witch or Miss Who or whoever the heck this is. But yeah, so this doll has a very similar hair texture, and see how they're coils, not kinks. I know if that doesn't make sense to you, then black people, you know what I'm talking about. Okay, so this hair, which I already tried this method with and it looked like it worked with her, this hair was super curly and it was sitting on the top of her head like this, and my Poppy's hair was exactly the same style except for her whole middle of her head is not rooted. So thanks, Mattel. Poppy Parker don't got that problem. So I'm calling this girl Serafina. I renamed her, and she is trying to rock her hair down, but because it's very tight, these curls, her hair has a lot of shrinkage, and I wanted her hair to kind of just lay a little bit flatter and look a little bit longer. And when I pull on the hair, I can see that she does have a lot of length here. It's like down past her waist, but I don't want it that straight, because the only way to get that length with this hair is to actually straighten the hair. Not trying to go that route. I want to keep her hair curly. I just see how it puffs up and it's like spreading out to the sides, and then we'll do a before and after to see if there's any difference. What I ended up using for supplies was a bowl that is able to handle hot boiling water in it. Hot boiling water, a comb for my dolls, some hair conditioner, or you can substitute that for fabric softener instead, and some rubber bands to tie the hair with. You also will need a towel or paper towel to dry the hair. So let's get started. First, we're going to start with some boiling water. And while the water is boiling, we're going to strip her down so she's not wearing any clothes. We just don't want to mess up her clothes. So I've got my hot water here. It doesn't look that steamy. I did put it into a tea kettle instead of boiling on the stove because it's faster. And if I need it hotter than this, then I'll just have to boil it on the stove. But I'm hoping this is the hottest that I need it to be. I'm just going to take my doll and dunk her hair, only her hair, not her entire head, into the water. I don't want her eyelashes to get messed up, so I'm not gonna just stick her whole entire head into the water. And as I'm doing this, I'm just lifting the hair out of the water every few seconds. Here's the thing, if you're not combing the doll's hair straight as you're heating it, there is really no reason for it to just completely straighten out. And most of the time, the fibers that are used for doll hair, it usually all starts off straight, and then because it's synthetic hair, it's not real hair that has any actual texture to it, so these fibers are basically just plastic. It's like a type of plastic. In order to get it curly like this, they do have to boil set the hair. So if you look at her roots of her hair, you'll see that it's actually straight already. Yeah, so the doll's hair can handle heat. It's not gonna melt or anything. It just depends on the type of material that your doll's hair is made from. But most of the types of Barbie hairs that we have, Even the crappy ones, they can handle heat to some degree if it's like water heat. So don't think that it's just gonna straighten out. That's not gonna happen unless I keep like combing through the hair to pull on the strands. All right, so while she is in her hot water bath, I'm just gonna take a comb and pull the strands down from the roots because I want to, I'm not trying to straighten the hair, but I do want it to become a little bit more like loose. And then I'll just keep on dunking. And when you're doing this, it's very possible that if your water cools off too fast, you will need to do multiple boils of the water in order to continue dunking the doll's hair until it's at the level of looseness that you want the curls to be. But you see, I'm not actually combing through the hair. I'm just pulling on the strands to stretch them out. But I was contemplating if I should just completely straighten her hair, because I always knew before I even got this doll that I would want for her hair to be worn down. I don't really like a lot of updos unless it's very sleek looking. So I wasn't really feeling her big puff on the top of her head, but I love the texture of the hair. It's very pretty, and I feel like it's kind of a waste to just leave it up in a ponytail. So I wanted to be able to have her wear her hair down. And then when I took the ponytail down and kind of trained the hair to lay down on her head instead of pointing upwards, because her hair is rooted upside down so that you can make a ponytail on the top, I just looked at it and I was like, it's very Diana Ross-ish, and I love that. But I feel like we could get a little more length out of the hair, so that's what made me decide to try and do this. She's not done yet. I'm gonna have Serafina lay on a towel, and we're just gonna pull. We're gonna stretch her hair a little bit more with the comb, and then we're going to put her back into hotter water. Doing this, or just pulling the strands with a comb, not combing through the hair, just pulling on the strands to stretch it out. Okay, hair needs to stretch. She needs to exercise. Come on, girl, we need some workout music. Hair is working it out. All right, very stretchy. Okay, we're gonna keep doing this a little bit. Yes, the eyelashes. Gotta be careful. I've made this mistake before with some of my other dolls that have rooted eyelashes. When I tried to boil set their hair, I think I dunked their entire head into the water, totally not even factoring in their lashes, and then it just like, their eyelashes just crinkled up, you guys. Oh my goodness, what was I thinking? While I'm waiting for my water, I'm just going to take a little conditioner. Just whatever cheap conditioner you have around the house. Doesn't need to be anything special. And I'm just gonna put it in her hair to soften up the hair a little bit more. This hair is quite, it's not really like coarse, it just feels more dry, I guess, than, if that even makes sense. I mean, doll hair doesn't feel moist or dry, I know, but that's the only way I know how to describe how the hair feels. It just feels kind of dry compared to regular Barbie doll hair. Conditioner is not like the number one thing to use on this hair. Obviously, it's not real hair, so conditioner is kind of mimicking what it would do for our hair, but probably it would be better to use fabric softener. I myself have never used fabric softener on any of my doll hair ever for any reason. However, I have seen the results that other customizers have gotten with fabric softener, and it seems like it always turns out really good. I absolutely recommend trying this experiment out for you guys with the fabric softener if you have some handy, but que bueno. Okay, we got some hot water again. Let's try this one more time. We're gonna dunk, dunk, dunk. Pull, pull, pull. I never thought that I would be able to find and acquire a black Poppy Parker, because there are way more Caucasian skin tones produced of this doll, and that particular skin tone is more readily available. Every time I would see a darker one, she'd be like really high priced, very limited in quantity, and sold out almost like as soon as she's produced. So I was like, nah, I don't follow Integrity Toys's, products closely enough to be aware when one of these dolls are available in a darker skin tone, but I just got really lucky this time, I think. Law of attraction. It's a little hard to tell when the doll's hair is in the water, so I tied the hair up in a tight ponytail, and I wanted to show you guys that, see, the size of her ponytail is bigger than it was when I first received the doll. It didn't stand this far away from her scalp. Her puff was closer to the, to her head. So I tied that up, and then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna tie the rest of this up, stretched out. So you should end up with something a little like this. See how tall her hair is? I just took small rubber bands. You can use whatever you guys have around your house. It could be hair ties for yourself or your kids, rubber bands. These are actually like those little plastic bands that don't tangle as easily as rubber bands do. So I just pulled her ponytail up. I used her comb to help me to stretch the hair a little bit. I didn't brush out the curls. I just used the comb to stretch the hair so I could tie it. And this is much farther away from her head than her initial puff was when she was first opened up. Out of the box, her puff was probably about this distance away, the entire thing. We've got a little stretched out ponytail here. So now we're just soaking the hair like this. And to be honest, you guys, the stuff I was doing earlier, it was really just to soften up the hair so that I could stretch the hair as long as I could from her head. And for the type of style I'm trying to go for, when this is done, it's not going to be as long as this hair is up here, because there's going to be some shrinkage when the hair dries. It's going to puff back up closer to her head. But that's why I want to stretch it as far as I can, so that when that shrinkage happens, it's closer to the length that I'm trying to get her hair to. So we're just going to soak it in this water until it's very well heated. And again, if you need to reheat your water, keep checking it, poke your finger in it to see if it's hot enough. The more hot and scalding it is, probably the better, depending on what fiber you're trying to do this with. It's all an experiment at the end of the day. I can't give you a specific temperature or anything, or tell you how long to do this for. You really have to just pay attention and observe and trust your own judgment while you're doing this. So hopefully if you're watching this while you're trying it out, it's a bit of a guide for you so you know what to do next. And you got to just use your discretion. So you soak this hair until it's as hot as you can get it to be. And then we're going to let it sit on a towel or paper towel. We're just going to let her hair dry. Just want to make sure her face isn't getting all wet. Poor baby. Oh, the price you have to pay for beauty, Serafina, right? I know. It's so extra. It's not easy being beautiful, you guys. They did not lie when they used to tell us that. Okay, so while it's drying, I'm just pulling on her hair kind of to stretch it further. And the heat is what's going to set her hair. So the hot water is basically acting like a dryer, like the dryers you sit under at the beauty salon. It's basically acting like that and setting her hairstyle in place. We're gonna wait for this to dry, or be very close to drying, like damp, before we take these rubber bands out. And while we're waiting for her hair to dry, I encourage you guys to take a look at some of these awesome, unique, original designs that my son Gino has been creating to allow us to connect with our viewers by sharing in these designs on our merch. So if you go ahead and click on the images that are right underneath the screen in the description box, it will take you over to our merch shop, and that's where you'll be able to browse and find all the cool designs that Gino has already designed for you guys. And every week he's adding more designs. Also, he's scaling his designs down for our dolls so that they can wear them too, and we can match the dolls. So we'll be giving you guys information for where you can order clothing for your dolls as well, if you want some specialty images, some unique images, and if you want to share the same styles and looks that our Broken Dolly crew is rocking on our videos and Instagram posts, then go ahead and show your support by ordering pieces for your dollies when they're available. So these are basically the sneak peeks over on our merch shop of what will be available for the dolls as well. Be sure to follow us on Instagram because that's where we keep most of you guys updated faster than over here on YouTube. You know, it's a whole production when you're doing YouTube videos. By the time you guys are watching this video, like, this has already happened in the past, right? So you're like time traveling every time you watch a video. So if you want things in real time updates, go ahead and follow us on Instagram because that's where we post everything in real time. And you'll know before everybody else what's going on with the channel. If you want even better results, I suggest that you pull the hair in the ponytails as far as you can pull it and tie even more rubber bands on the hair so that you can get a tighter hold on the hair being stretched. As I'm waiting for Serafina's hair to dry, I just want to show you this doll that is a Mia from Fresh Dolls. And Mia, who I haven't really renamed, her hair is just naturally very big and curly. And Tevin, one of our dolly friends, actually sent this one to me. I like her best out of all of the Fresh Dolls that I have seen thus far. And Fresh Dolls actually did send us some of their dolls as well. They were different ones, but I liked her better than the ones that they had actually sent to us. So she's probably my favorite one. But her hair, it's very big and wild and crazy. And like when I tried this method with her hair, I didn't go as far as the rubber band part. I just dunked it to see how the hair would react. And the hair actually shrunk up and curled even tighter. But after giving her a heat treatment, it's actually laying down. Like you can actually see the part in her hair kind of. That, I didn't expect for that to happen. I thought that it was gonna like melt the hair or something because this fiber is different. But it actually totally defined the curls a lot more, which I'm happy with because I almost thought that this hair texture was hopeless at first. I'm really feeling this, so I thought I would share that with you guys so you can see, like, just experiment. The heat's not gonna ruin the fibers, you guys. It will change the fibers, but it's not gonna ruin it. And so I think her hair is dry enough for us to start unraveling these rubber bands, and you're just gonna take them out one by one. As I'm pulling them out, I'm just kind of using my comb to continue stretching the hair just so that it doesn't shrink back up. Last ponytail left, and here's how much hair I have as far as the ponytail. One more quick tip. So I know you guys can tell already that the hair is much longer than it was when we first started doing this. Now, I told you guys sometimes a doll's hair is rooted upside down, especially Barbie dolls with high ponytails. They do this a lot. So to set the hair so that it will be trained to lay down while the hair is wet, or if you need to, you can go ahead and wet the hair back up again if that's easier for you. But when it's damp, not soaking wet, you want to tie the hair down. So you're gonna pull all the hair down to the direction you want it to lay, and then just take a rubber band and tie it around the face to hold the hair flat. I put it under her nose because it's not gonna move from the spots because the nose and the lip bridge is kind of keeping it in place. If your doll has eyelashes like mine, that could mess their eyelashes up, so I would not suggest doing that. But the nose is like a safe place to tie the rubber band around. Just keep it in place, and depending on how stubborn the doll's hair fiber is, you may have to do this for a night or more than one day, like 2 days straight. Just keep the hair like this, and it's basically gonna do the same thing as what a flattening iron would do without messing up the doll's hair texture or changing it. I'm gonna put her back into the outfit that she had on initially so we can really get an idea of what the difference is. So now you can say there is a tutorial available for us who are trying to make our curly haired dolls have a little bit looser curls. Like, I'm not trying to just straighten her hair straight up. That's all I was able to find, you guys. I could not find one tutorial on how to make this doll's hair less curly. That's all I wanted to do. I don't want these tight curls. The texture that I was going for Serafina was inspired by this doll's hair. It's very curly, wavy, and like coily, and look how long the hair is. and she can wear her hair very big. It's still in the natural texture that it was when I first got the doll out of the box, because I just loved this texture of hair. And even though it's very thick and full and curly, it doesn't get tangled, it doesn't become unruly, and I've had this doll for quite some time now, but it doesn't get matted at the ends of the hair. And you can see there's a huge difference between this hair and this hair in the way that the textures are looking. These are both by Mattel, so you see the blue hair just looks a lot more, just looks like it's matted together, like it's just melting into itself. But this hair doesn't do that. It's very distinct chunks of curls that are not tangling with one another. I wanted to duplicate something like this with the Poppy Parker doll. Just the feel, the vibe of the hair. I wanted it to still be big and full, but long enough that she can kind of just, you know, toss her hair around and it's not gonna just be flying up in the air someplace. So I think we've been able to accomplish that here, and her curls still look pretty defined and full, and it doesn't look like the hair is matting together. It's a little harder to see the distinctions in the chunks of hair that are curled because it's all black, but I can see it with my eyes, and that's what's important to me. Woo! This girl is on fire. This girl is on fire. What? Oh my goodness, you guys. What? This turned out better than I even imagined it in my mind. I just wanted it to look calm. I didn't even imagine to get this much length out of how short the hair looked when it was still in its natural state. And you see how her hair is kind of like moving? Yeah, it was a lot stiffer before we gave her this hair treatment. I think the conditioner made the hair a little bit more softer. I am more than satisfied. She really looks exactly the way I wanted her to look. You know, it's still curly, but it also looks kind of wavy. Like, it's just everything, okay? It's just doing what I needed to do. Finally, yes. I'm so glad that I took this risk to try out something different. The fact that I did end up having to do this was what made me want to make this tutorial, because I was like, I cannot be the only one. There's got to be some people out there who is trying to figure out how to do this with their doll's hair too. But that's what we're here for, you guys. Broken Dolly TV. This is where you need to be for the best, the most up-to-date tips on how to get things done. If you liked this video, give me a thumbs up so that I will know that I helped somebody. And if you tried this method, let me know in the comments. Also tag me on Instagram so I can take a look. Yo, when you tag me, man, when you guys tag me, don't just tag me. Don't just be like @Broken Dolly TV and then I'm just like, what do you want me to see? Because I'm slow like that. I need you to tag me and then explain in the tag why you're tagging me. You might be watching this video 2 months after I put it up. So if you just randomly tag me, I'm gonna be like, what? What do you want? So tell me in the tag, hey, come check out her hairstyle. I did my doll's hair using the tutorial that you posted. Oh, okay, that's what's up. This doll's hair is pretty even, but if your doll's hair doesn't look even after you stretch it out, then you can go ahead and trim the ends to make it a little bit more neat. Just take a little off at a time until it's looking the way you want it to look. And if you're wondering where I got her dress robe, whatever you want to call this, it came on a Wonder Woman doll, and it's like just a plain white dress that she had on, which is also a robe. It ties around the front, but I thought it would look really elegant and pretty on her in contrast to her dark skin. She looks lovely. I love her so much. And I'll see you guys in the next one. I gotta go because this has me so hyped. Like, I got to go. I gotta get my dolling on, all right? That's it for today. My name is Gypsy, and you've been watching Broken Dolly TV, and I'll talk to you guys later. Have a dolly day. Told you quit your calling, but you had to keep on calling.